Good evening, one and all, to another episode of Even Strength. I don't know who I am, but I'm sitting in for Dave the BearShark because he's off doing God knows what tonight. I am with the Sam, the Natural Well B12 Experience, which sounds like a Jimi Hendrix thing, but it's hockey. Welcome in, everybody. How are you, Sam?
I'm great, thank you. How are you doing?
I am spectacular. At least I am for tonight. Tomorrow, when we go down three games to none, I won't be as happy.
Why do I have a feeling that could be the situation for both of us come tomorrow?
It's so hard to be happy, but at least there's still hockey, so like that's the upside. Even after the Rangers get knocked out of this next round, there'll still be hockey because Tampa will go on. And so anyway, been a weird week in hockey, hasn't it?
It certainly has been. There's been a lot of ups and downs, a lot of kind of bizarre twists and turns, and I'm very happy to say I've been very wrong with a lot of my predictions.
I got to be honest with you, it has really been a weird week in hockey. Steve, how are you? KK, welcome in. Stream Elements Bot, beep boop beep boop boop. Jacob B12, welcome in. Bernie DC, how are you? Welcome in, everybody else who's joining us. Now, Bernie was kind enough to provide us with some breaking news. So I'm going to kind of run through a couple of those things. Some of them are a big deal. Other ones are just like Columbus agreed to a 1-year contract with their goalie. So that's cool that they got that going. That's a little bit of off-season news. But in playoff news, kind of a big deal right now. I was calling him Billington because it just stuck in my head that way. But Binnington, he is out for the rest of the night for the Blues. Apparently, he was run over by Rosen and Kadri. So Kadri, and as you said, Kadri will probably get suspended for it. And then the other thing is Sam Girard is taken to the hospital after a crushing hit in the first period. So we hope that he's okay. I have not seen the footage on that yet, but I plan to after the game. So there's some obviously some things going on around, in hockey right now. There's a game that we'll be wrapping up while we're on air. So we're going to stick to those, to the score on that as well. Dallas Hockey Girl, welcome in. Let's see, Colorado 3, St. Louis 2, the end of the second. So, yeah, while we're on air, we should be getting a conclusion to that game where Colorado had to cheat and knock out a goaltender to win.
So what you're saying there really is Binnington got the Blues?
He's got the Blues. Yeah, pretty much that's what it sounds like. And that was a little rim shot from Sam. Sam's got a new background, everybody. Did you see? Sammy's got the new background.
It's too bad that Kadri was involved in the collision, and I hope they really don't look to him. But he's having quite a game. He's got the second goal, and he's got an assist on the third goal for Colorado. So he's having a great game.
All right, so Dallas Hockey Girl is telling me that this is a nasty hit. So while you're kind of catching us up on the things that you want to discuss, I'm going to pull up a quick video and see just how nasty this is because it must be really bad.
Sure thing. So here's a couple bizarre twists and turns in the story of the world of the NHL. Of course, a couple of these are going to have to do with the Arizona Coyotes, our favorite team, and a couple of these are going to have to do with the golfing Toronto Maple Leafs. So let's start with Arizona because we love talking about Arizona. I kind of mentioned this on a couple of my streams earlier in the week, but next year they're moving to that 5,000 seater, that whopping 5K.
Huge.
Well, you know how every team has their logo at center ice?
Yeah.
Not the Coyotes.
Whose logo do they have? Is it like a Coca-Cola logo?
They are not allowed to manipulate any of the ice service for their logos because it's a revenue source for the state of Arizona. So they are not allowed
Come on.
to have their logo.
Hey, in the locker room, it says your name here. They're not even allowed to put it in the carpet.
In the carpet, it says TikTok.
Yeah. TikTok and you don't stop. That's not
I love
good.
that story. Poor Arizona. But yeah.
Ooh. So the hit looks a lot like this. His head is on the board at the buckle.
Oh, goodness.
That's a bad hit. So
that could be a shoulder, collarbone.
Well, let me draw attention to the skates. The skates are off the ice. He's getting suspended. Yeah. That is a suspension hit right there. He left the skates. He is plowing over them. And that apparently is what his face looked like as he was leaving.
Right. Now, to me and you, that should be a suspendable hit. But we all know who's sitting in the chair and doiling out the suspensions.
Do you mean Barros?
So, yes, it should be a suspension. For all we know, he could get $1,500 fine and have to buy pizza and send it to his house.
Or it could, or to Parros' house. So the rules clearly state point of contact being the head and leaving the skates. Okay, so both skates are not sort of off the ice. They're about this far off the ice. I mean, they did a really good job of getting that shot. It's a bad hit. And, I mean, got to be looking at 1 to 2 games for that one. I don't know what the call on the ice was. Matt Carl, welcome in. After the follow, that's after the follow through. Watch the hit. Hits him in the shoulder to shoulder. Point of contact is never to the head. The awkward way went into the boards causes a okay, so Bernie saw it live, so that's good. So you're saying, Bernie, it's a clean hit, and that the follow through, he comes up and he brings it down. I'm just going based on Twitter has pictures, so I can't even see the hit yet. But when he's leaving, I don't know. Anytime you leave your skates, though, that's bad.
Yeah.
In his face, he looks like Ryan Lindgren from the Rangers. Ryan Lindgren's face gets hit with a puck once a game. He gets cut and stitches at least twice a game. It's ridiculous. I feel bad for that kid.
So Ryan Lindgren is different than Dolph Lindgren in Rocky IV.
Correct. He's his younger brother. What's up, Jesse? This is a different Lindgren. He's shorter, beard, lots of cuts on his face. I think he's probably tallied more stitches than most people have ice time.
Doesn't line up at center ice and say, "I will break you."
No.
Okay.
He gets lined up and goes, "Please don't break me." So you were saying before I saw that hit.
Our good friends at Arizona, they no ice logo for them. Now we'll have to see. I'm sure it's going to be somewhere on the ice. It's just
what's
not
the
going
reason
to be
for it?
Because all the on ice advertising is a main source of revenue for the state since they're going to own the building. So I'm sure they're going to sell that center ice for some big dollars.
So I could not be far off when I said it could say Coke at the center ice. Like it literally could be a Pepsi symbol.
It could say FPEN Sports.
Dude, let me tell you something. If you're watching right now, let me know how much it is to sponsor the logo at center ice. I'm interested. Skates were on the ice when contact was made. Girardi looks above his shoulder, slows up. Well, that's how it happens. And then burning Arizona, dumb. Just move to Casey or Houston. Be done with it already. We all agree they don't deserve a franchise anymore.
Here's kind of part 2 to this story.
Oh no.
Well, it's not really a part 2, but it's kind of related. So, according to where's the guy's name? Some FM 93, which I'm not sure if which city FM 93 is in. I think it's a Quebec radio station. Apparently, there was an emergency meeting between Gary Bettman and Eric Girard, who's been named Minister of the Nordiques, and he flew to New York to meet with Bettman at the NHL offices. So could there be quick talks of Quebec?
We need the Nordiques, baby.
So I thought that was really interesting that all of a sudden the Nordique talk. I mean, it comes up every year, and I have no way of confirming if this is legit or not. But I thought that was pretty interesting that shortly after the story of Arizona with the logo, I saw that article of the Nordiques kind of squad.
What I found really interesting about what you said was there was an article that came up, and I didn't realize that was what was going on. I kind of caught the end of it. But that what it actually said was they were going to bring a pawnbroker actually into the stadium to try and entice people to come in. They're going to actually, instead of having concessions like popcorn and drinks, you're going to actually have like car stereos, guitars. They're going to walk up and down the aisles and try and get you to buy stuff. Which, hey, if that's what works, that's what works. But at the end of the day, Arizona, they're done. I think the writing's on the wall. I think it's a matter of time. What I always found weird, and maybe you don't, you have Arizona going down in flames, and we're having expansion teams.
Yeah. Listen, there's a better chance of Blockbuster Video coming back with a VHS and beta section than Arizona going another several years.
Hold it. If that happens, I still have 2 VCRs, 150 videotapes.
I love my VCR, and I got my Laserdisc player. So
see, you and I would get along famously because everyone's like, "Why do you still have a VHS?" And I'm like, "I still have original Disney movies." So let's see. No way they'll move Arizona there. Wonder what's that?
It's the only way I can watch Morgan Stewart's Coming Home.
See, what about all of my hockey fight videos from like '88? They're all on tape.
Listen, Don Cherry's Rock'em Sock'em 1 through I think 6 is all VHS.
See, so like every fight video that I recorded. How about the Rangers run in '94? It's so old, it's on VHS. No way they'll move Arizona there. Wonder how Ottawa's situation is with their new arena. Yeah, there's so many possibilities. And when you sit there and you say, what area would you like to see them expand to? I mean, like you're always looking at what are the best hockey markets? Like where is a team going to be supported? The Southeast probably isn't, or Southwest is probably not like prime zone. I'm just going to go out there and say that. I mean, I thought the Seattle expansion was fantastic. Oregon could use a team.
That would be interesting.
Oregon could use a team. I mean, you do have a lot of stuff up there that would be supportive. They're used to it, so that would be something I'd like to see. And I mean, in all actuality, most of the northern Midwest could support another hockey team.
Okay, put you on the spot.
Yeah,
if you're moving to Oregon, what's your team name?
Hockey team.
Hockey team.
So it can't be the Ducks. So
I was going with the Oregon Wagon Wheels because when I think of Oregon,
the Oregon Trail.
I just think of wagons, yeah. The trail back in the day.
Is it bad that I completely all I heard was quack in my head, and I'm like, damn it! All I heard was Oregon Ducks. I'm like, no. Jen put in the Oregon Trailers. That would just mean that they're always losing. I would go with Oregano. Put a pizza on their chest. The Oregano. I don't know.
Needless to say, we won't be winning any naming contests.
Well, wait a second. We're on the FPE network. We're not actually on a Disney channel. Could it just be the Potheads? And everybody comes in and their baseball cap looks like a pot, and it would be a joke and a spin on words. They could actually open dispensaries right inside the arena. You walk in and everyone's wasted. Oregon Beavers isn't a bad name.
That's not bad at all.
That's actually a good name. Meanwhile, I went off on a pot binge, and Matt actually came up with a good one, which is the Oregon Beavers. That's actually a good name. You can't use Trailblazers. That's a basketball team. So, but at the end of the day, I think Oregon would be a good one. I don't think there's enough people in both North or South Dakota to warrant a team. Wisconsin, just saying, could be. I think you got to start looking at what is the viability of the franchise. I mean, in my mind, it's where you go to die, is you go to the Coyotes. So,
so no surprise after these stories come out. There was another story. Chris Johnson, NHL insider. Apparently, the big rumor earlier in the year was that Arizona was freeing up all this money to sign Matthews in a couple of years, right? They were going to offer him 2 dump trucks of money and steal him away. Well, apparently Matthews has come out and says that he is definitely not, or this is what Chris Johnson is saying, with 100% certainty, Matthews is not going to play in Arizona, and that Matthews has come out and said he wants to bring a cup to Toronto and he will not leave until he does, which is great to hear if you're a Leafs fan. But then remember, John Tavares kind of said the same thing in the Island a couple of years ago.
So I will say this: when you are on a current team, you've got to bleed those colors. So I applaud him for saying that. Having said that, this is the equivalent of the 1989 football draft and someone saying, and the first round draft pick goes to the Detroit Lions, and everyone goes, crap. Okay. Nobody wants to go to Phoenix. Nobody wants to go there. I don't care how much you're going to pay me. The question you have to ask yourself is did I get up at 3:30 in the morning, go to hockey practice for a truckload of money, which, by the way, he's going to get a truckload of money anywhere he goes. Or did I go for a truckload of money and the cup? Yeah. You're not going to Arizona. What you should be hoping for is an actual AHL affiliate to just come in and take over. Just get rid of your salary cap. Keep all the money, get really rich as owners, and wait for the stadium to just explode. Other than that, you don't have a chance. You're not going to climb out of it. You're not going to entice players to come there. You have no organization. Even Gretzky behind the bench could not help this team.
Gretzky's having more success as an analyst doing the intermission shows than he ever did with that organization.
And the funny thing is, there's people right now going, like, if they're watching on Team Replay going, Gretzky was the coach there? Yeah. Yeah. And guess what? When they had money and fans, okay, now you enter in the fact that they have no money because they made some boneheaded plays and their salary cap is destroyed. They have a 5,000 capacity stadium the state owns. They can't even put their logo on the center ice just so that it's all very well and clear. Do you know there's a new rule being passed in the offseason, right? It's about the patches on the uniform. That's because Arizona can't raise any money, and they're like, it's going to say like Bob's Trucking. It'll say FPEN across the front for FPN Sports. Like, I'm going to actually be able to get my logo on their jersey. It'd probably be like, what, $50 on a jawbreaker? It's nuts. Absolutely nuts.
More to buy the jersey.
Hey, if they want me to do it, that's what I would do. I'll even sell them on my website. I'll be an affiliate. They'll have to cut me in for 20%.
There you go. And then some interesting stories coming out, and this ties back to some of our conversations in regards to trots and potential coaching destinations and whatnot. So on Locker Cleanout Day in Toronto, which is always an exciting day. It's an annual event now. The announcement was made that they are going to keep general manager in place, not making a move. And they have announced that the coach is not going to be relieved of duty, and GM could be receiving a contract extension as well as coach. So it's very interesting that after everything that's gone on and a possibility to upgrade, Toronto has decided to keep, at least for now, its GM and its coach in place.
What's even more interesting is who the Islanders replaced Barry Trotz with.
Oh, I didn't see.
Lane.
Really?
His protege since the Capitals. It's literally Barry Jr.
Barry Jr.
They literally, all they did was they went, you know what? We can save some money.
Interesting.
So they literally bring in the Barry Trotz Jr. since the Capitals. This guy has been with him the entire time. They fire one and keep the other. Now, the best part about it is it really begs the question. Dean, how are you? You're Barry Trotz. Your number one destination, in my opinion, was probably between the Devils. Okay. Possibility because then you don't have to move. Going back to Manitoba. So you're talking about somewhere Winnipeg Jets, which they have all kinds of issues. Even with JT Miller, I started reading articles again. He's back on the trading block. And this time they want even more for him, which they did a great job at the trade deadline moving him. You know, I don't know. I mean, it's you know, it just seems to me like there's a lot of pieces in the Barry Trotz puzzle that can happen. I got to imagine, I can't ever get the right finger this way. The board full of teams that are up there right now, as we will call it, the final 8, those coaches, for the most part, are probably safe. You got to assume you're in the second round of the playoffs. You're probably not going anywhere. I could be way wrong. Wouldn't be the first time. But round 2 of the playoffs, the chances that you're going to see a coach get fired are pretty slim. Could be the end of a contract. That's a different story. But again, why would you not renew a coach that's going deep in round 2? There's not going to be a blowout except for the Rangers. And that's not even a Gallant issue. Maybe it is. And I've said all along that if I could have Gallant or Trotz, I'd take Trotz. But although now I feel like I have the Trotz. I don't know. I can't figure out where this guy's going. I mean, Winnipeg is still, an obvious choice because of the Manitoba connection. But they've got a lot of issues. Does this guy, I mean, it's like he keeps getting brought back in to rebuild teams, and they stick with him long enough, to make something happen. I think the guy's looking for a little bit of, that's why I thought Toronto was a good fit. I thought he would just slip in, be like, hey, let's go win some cups. But it's going to be very interesting. And Bernie just said the same thing. Still think it's Winnipeg as his number 1 spot. JT Miller, Vancouver, but they're trying to move JT Miller. That's the other side of it. Bucks, how are you? So it's really kind of an amazing thing that we're still talking about the Barry Trotz lottery, because it really is surprising to me he's still on the market. There are other lesser coaches, and I don't mean any disrespect by that, but there are some other good coaches out there still just hanging out. And whether or not, Trotz gives him his blessing or not to take the job, which I understand he did, it's a bonehead move. It's a bonehead move. There was 1 year left in his contract. Take him all the way out. Like, why would you get rid of him days afterwards? I mean, something had to happen. I mean, I don't know. I'm just being conspiratorial.
Yeah. No, it's so true. And the latest rumor to come out of our good friends in Toronto, and I'm not sure how the legs that this has, considering.
Oh, that's right, Bernie. He's in Vancouver, not Winnipeg. My bad. Sorry.
The team this gentleman still plays for is St. Louis, and they're still playing. But I guess he's a free agent at the end of the year. Apparently, the big rumor around town right now is Toronto. They need to get gritty. They need to get tough. And the guy they want is David Perron. So, interesting. It's an interesting thought. There's going to be an absolute ton of these rumors coming up over the next month and a half.
I'm going to start a rumor right now. The Rangers are going to take pillow hands and launch him out of a cannon with no helmet.
Oh, that would be awesome.
That'd be great.
So very, very cool. There was one serious story I wanted to throw at you. I don't know if you heard about this. Again, still on the locker cleanout day, or maybe the night before. So Mitch Marner, Toronto, he finished. I think he finished in the top 10 in scoring, definitely in the top 20. He actually was the victim of a carjacking.
Really?
Just west of Toronto. I think it's west. 3 guys, 2 with pistols, 1 with a knife, approached him and his lady friend, and took his Range Rover, and see you later. He's fine. No injuries, no nothing, but shaken up. And
but you're making it so I can't even make a joke. It was a serious story, and I can't even make fun of it.
Yeah, so it's pretty wild. But everything's cool. Everything's fine, and I guarantee you the people who did it probably had no idea who he even was.
No, and I mean, can you imagine finding out later, and then everyone's like, oh, you messed with our Toronto. Okay, well, now we're going to jack you. So I can't even make the, like, is it too soon for the Mounties don't even carry guns thing? And no, I won't go there. Yeah, I mean, look, it's a screwed up thing. By the way, it's happening more and more. I think that's like the third or fourth story I've heard this year of professional athletes getting jacked.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's a world we live in. So, well, I don't know about you, but I went to the credit union and pumped some gas. I am sorry. I went to the gas station, had to take out a loan from the credit union and filled my car. No, that's not right either. I mean, the price of gas is outrageous. And it's funny, if I don't know how much you follow the markets or anything, but I literally got an email this morning and it sat there and it said that, I don't remember who was the title, whoever sent it to me. I think it was Fresh Market or Market Watch. Fresh Market, somewhere you get for food, David. Jeez, guess it was Market Watch. But that they're expecting by August gas to hit $6 a gallon here.
Oh, wow.
Because there was a report that a Washington gas station had reprogrammed its gas pumps for double digits for $10. And everyone went, oh my God, it's going to $10. It's not what it sounds like. What it really is they're right next to a racetrack. And one of the pumps is for higher end octane fuel that is normally $8 or $9 a gallon. And with gas prices going up, they had to adjust for it, but they had to do it to all the pumps. So nationally, it made the story that gas is going to hit $10 next week, and everybody freaked. It has to do with race cars, had to do with high octane fuel. That's not what it is. But basically, they are predicting $6 a gallon gas, national average of $6 a gallon in the U.S. in August. So
yeah, we're over $2 a liter here. No idea how it converts.
Keep trying to tell you, $1.89. I go get a 2 liter of Coke. Good to go, man. Like, no problem. You guys and your liters, eh? So yeah, it's crazy because that comes out to you guys are roughly $5 a gallon.
Yeah,
thereabouts, and it's nuts because Dallas Hockey Girl put something in it and equated out. She paid $60 for a half a tank. I'm paying roughly for that same half a tank. I'm paying roughly 50 US, 48 US.
Yeah.
So
that's like 150 Canadian.
It's nuts, and we're paying around $1.10, about $1 to $1.10. It's nuts. So it's a little crazy, but this is the way
when
to
talk
roll.
about a couple teams running out of gas, they could certainly use some refueling. A couple of our favorites,
Rangers,
round are not looking so hot after the first two. So why don't we start on the other side? Let's start on the West.
Okay.
So Colorado, St. Louis, ongoing right now. It's currently 3-2 Colorado with about 8 minutes, just over 8 minutes left in the third. Colorado I guess they're tied. If they win today, Colorado will go up. The series has not been what I anticipated. First and foremost, I thought it was going to be Minnesota, so definitely not what I anticipated.
No, but just so you know, they're at home playing golf.
Yeah. So yeah, this very different series. I thought Colorado was going to really take a commanding lead of these guys, and they haven't.
I called game one. All right, so I did play-by-play. It was boring. It was a good game, but it wasn't like the game I still want to call, and I think I'm going to switch over. I think I'm going to do the Battle of Alberta. I don't think I have a choice. The Calgary, and since we're jumping into it, Calgary looks amazing. I don't know if anyone saw what happened last night or the absolute shellacking in the first period alone. I mean, the Flames look amazing. The last series was great. This series is awesome. Calgary Oilers, great series. Avs Blues, it just looks like a rock and sock'em robots game. Okay. Oilers game was awesome, Jonathan. I thought it was a phenomenal game. But and the truth is, and I have to say this not because Jonathan's in, the Oilers Flames like the Ranger game ended and that game came on and I went, wow, a hockey game. Because when you watch the Rangers-Carolina game, first of all, it was atrocious. And Dean's trying to like literally hold my hair back while I throw up in the toilet. And he's sitting there, he's like, Dave, it's okay. Like Carolina, they play this technical game. And I'm like, yeah, but the Rangers don't. The Rangers suck. They're not. My issue with the Rangers right now is they're not holding true to their identity. You cannot go into the playoffs and change your style of hockey. You're not going to win. I'm not saying that you can't make adjustments because you have to. But if you're a north-south gritty hitting grinding team and you go to trap dump and chase hockey, you're going to get killed. Oh, by the way, Rangers are down 2-0.
Yeah.
Did I just freeze?
Yeah. You're
are we frozen?
You're giving it to the Rangers right now.
There we go. They're back.
You're back.
Well,
I agree with you. I really haven't watched much of this St. Louis, Colorado series. Right now, it's looking like it could go either way. Colorado got lucky in overtime. They get the win. Then St. Louis comes back and whoops them in game 2. Tonight, again, another close game. That Oilers-Flames, I tell you. So we did game 1. We called game 1. It was absolutely off the chart. What was there, 17 goals or something like that?
I don't know. Was it 9-6 or something?
It was
nuts.
Yeah, it was absolutely insane. It was crazy. Such great hockey. I watched the first little bit of it last night. So much fun. Like these guys, this is a series. So
yeah,
we're doing it tomorrow at 8. If you want to hop on, I'll send you the link. You're more than welcome to join us.
Oh, I'll come in and just sit there and just go, oh my God, the whole time. Because that's what I did last night. Like literally the Ranger game went off. I put my head down. I cried. Once I was done crying, I sat up and I looked up, and the first thing I hear is, what were they, 2 minutes in? They scored a goal, and it was like a ridiculous goal. 3 minutes later, they scored another one. I'm like, and the hitting is amazing. It was unbelievable.
So much hitting. It was great. And you're right. Talking about the Rangers series, I don't know when they're going to show up. I was watching along with you guys while you were doing the game, and they just, I don't know what it is. I don't want to say I'm impressed with Carolina because I don't think Carolina is playing well.
Neither do I.
New York is playing poorly. A lot of poor decisions.
I'll tell you what it is, because I have literally this season, I have missed a total of 5 games. Okay. I only missed 5 games. I have watched this team do every boneheaded thing that they can do. I'm just going to tell you that. There's 2 things that are fundamentally wrong with the Rangers. Every time the camera shows them on the bench, their heads are like this. They're already beaten. They're down mentally, psychologically, emotionally, whatever. The Kreider, Panarin, Zibanejad combined for a total of 0 goals in the last game and a half. But why? Well, this is a team, and if anybody's ever listened to me call a game, I say the exact same thing over and over again. When the Rangers are skating, and I mean skating, like back and forth, hauling ass, doing circles, getting plays set up, tape-to-tape passing, they win. When the Rangers are standing around, and every time I saw Mika Zibanejad go back check, he was bent over, he had his stick, both hands on his knees, he's hunched over, and he's gliding. The Rangers are playing a different style hockey. The first thing I called last night's game, they were playing a trap system right off the bat. The Rangers don't play a trap system. They don't do dump and chase hockey. First of all, the first thing that goes with dump is dump. You dump the puck in, and then what do? You're supposed to go after the puck. The Rangers go do a line change. They don't have the second part down. They're not going into the boards and grinding. But that's also not their identity. Panarin's not a board grinder. Zibanejad's not a board grinder. You're not talking about a board grinding team. You're talking about a sprint team back and forth, north to south hockey, plain and simple. Our power play sucked. Kreider is not even in front of the net. Guy scores 52 goals. I'm going to go ahead and say, respectively speaking, half of them, if not more, 30 of them, are in front of the net, standing there deflecting shots. We're not playing our game. As long as we don't play our style of hockey, we will not win, period.
Yeah.
And let me say this. The other team is not made out of glass. We're allowed to hit them. We're not hitting them. In the third period, we've started to show some identity. But you're a hockey guy. You've been watching hockey for a day or two. What the hell is wrong with Ryan Reeves? Where is this guy? Like, I'm sorry, but like we signed him, and the first thing I thought was he is going to kick Tom Wilson's ass from one side of the rink to the other. Hold on. Yeah, we're streaming. Relax. Just relax. Ecam got all upset with me. It was like, are you guys still on? Yeah, we're there. Relax. So, where Ryan Reeves went in this, why Schneider isn't hitting more? Where is anybody hitting? The kid who's hitting is Lafreniere. My number one draft pick is the kid who's going after everybody. I don't know. We're going home tomorrow, 3:30 game. Obviously, I'll be calling that.
When you talk about bad on the power play, that's a perfect segue over to the Florida Panthers, who in the playoffs are, what are they, 0 for 24 right now with the man advantage, something like that?
I don't know, but it's pretty bad. Hello, Caroline.
Hey, Caroline. Yeah, they are really bad. And right now, Tampa is beating them offensively, defensively, goaltending. Listen, game one was tough because Florida outshot them. Florida should have won game one, but Tampa got the goals. Game two and the officiating in game one was atrocious.
Oh, please. So bad.
Tampa's one of their, I think it was their go-ahead goal, was goaltender interference, no call. Anyways, game two, it's tied. There's 3 seconds left in the game, and Tampa scores to put it away. So I think that's a lot going into Tampa now for games 3 and 4. I don't think it's going to be a sweep. Florida probably takes one of them, but they're on their last legs. I'm so impressed with Tampa, and it kills me to say that because they did me dirty. But now they're probably going to knock out my second team, and Tampa's just looking really good.
Wait a second. So this is your fault.
It's all my fault.
Hey, start rooting for Carolina.
I should. Well, and did you hear the officiating crew who did Game 5 in Toronto? I think it was Game 5. They've been pulled for the rest of the playoffs.
I didn't hear
not
that.
It makes us feel any better, but it confirms that we got hosed.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of bad officiating. I really hope that the NHL really looks at this in the offseason, because what's the NHL's goal? The NHL is to grow the NHL's goal is to grow the league. If you want more people to watch, you have to stop pissing off the people who are already watching and turning us off to things like, I don't know, how about the Rangers' first game against Penguins? It was absolutely not. I mean, it absolutely was a goal. Rangers won the first game. Okay, it changes the dynamic of the series. It changed it for you guys. You guys probably win. You're probably playing the Panthers at this point. But talking specifically about that game, you said that there is the possibility that they'll take one game in Tampa. I'm calling sweep. At this point, I'm going to say this to you. Tampa is very hard on their own ice.
Mm-hmm.
They're very hard to beat. Okay, going in there, you're going to have 20,000 people in the arena. You're going to have 10,000 people outside the arena. I mean, they gather in masses in Tampa. This is a hockey town. Okay, they're looking for a three-peat. They're not going to want to lose on home ice. The only way that this goes where Florida picks up a game is bad refereeing. If we get bad refs, you're going to see it swing the other way. But if not, it's Tampa and 4.
Interesting. Well, I think if Florida can turn around on the power play, that will definitely help. But I think I think Tampa's going to move on, and I'm not I'm not happy about it.
No, look, the only thing that I get out of it is everyone knows Tampa's my second team. Rangers are going out, by the way. They could go out in 4. If the Rangers do not get their head out of their derriere, I'm looking at the potential of sweep. Even though, let me tell you something, games are super low scoring. Why? Because they're super boring. Oh my God, they're so hard to call. It's just like I found myself sitting there, and you were sitting and listening, and I'm going, and the puck goes back and forth and back, and I was like, 7 times before I could finish the sentence, the puck had changed hands, and I'm like, oh my God, I just want to shoot my TV. I was like, I was done.
They really need to revisit this format and go back to the conference. 1 plays 8, 2 plays 7, so on and so forth. Those games, while they were exciting, the best teams are the ones that went to the conference finals. Not having the best games in your first and second round.
I just want to throw up. I mean, all I can tell you is I've watched 2 games with Carolina. Now, I can say this. The Rangers did not play their best hockey against the Pens. Okay? Mm-hmm. They played good hockey. They didn't play great hockey. I think that either team could have won. I'm happy the Rangers did. In this series right now, let me say this. We are looking at the fact that the Rangers argumentatively have to win 4 in a row.
Yep. And sorry to interrupt. It is now 4-2 Colorado. Ladeskong from McKinnon and Ratnan.
4-2 Colorado. So Colorado is going to go ahead in this series. What's left on the clock? Should be a couple minutes.
Minute 40.
Yeah, a couple minutes. I felt. So, and that's the thing is when we're looking at these teams and we're looking at the way that the bracket breaks down. Let me bring up the bracket now. So, when you go back through the series and you look at who won, who lost, the Eastern Conference, I think the mistake is the Capitals. I still think the Capitals should have beat Panthers. I think that was a really, really good series. I think that should have went that way. I think Toronto should have beat Tampa. So it really almost could have been Caps Toronto in the first round. And then it could have been, I don't think Boston ever could come close to beating Carolina, in my opinion, but it could have been Carolina Rangers, Carolina Pens. I'm just saying that when I look at it like this, I sit here and say the Rangers are almost in a must-win pretty much from here on out. If they don't win 4 in a row and they drop 1, we're going to Game 7 again. It's going to come down to the wire. This is a team where if Carolina is going to play this highly technical dump and chase, make you screw up thing, go out there without your stick and just hit everybody. Just stop trying to beat them. Just go out there and whack the crap out of them. Any guy who gets anywhere near the puck, hit him. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you right now, you've been on the ice. When you get hit, does it feel good?
No.
When you get hit into the boards, it feels horrible. When you get hit in the open ice, there's no more jarring feeling than getting hit open ice, especially a good hit. Why? There's nothing to stop you. Your body goes like this. It's like a garage sale. Shit goes everywhere. Hats, visors, sticks, skates, everything goes in a different direction. Okay? That's why those hits look so bad. So I would say this. I would start with the 4th line. I'd pull Ryan Reeves, by the way. Let me just go ahead and say this, Ranger fan. Pull Ryan Reeves. Go grab an AHLer. Go grab your biggest meathead who can barely say the words unga bunga. Put him out on the ice and let him hit everything, including the goaltender. Hit everyone. All right, hit them all. Make them look up. They will stop dumping the puck in if every time they go into the boards, they lose a player. Like, I'm sorry. If every time you went into the boards, you realized you were going to get sandwiched. I'm talking about Hansen from Slapshot Hockey. The Hansen brothers had it right. They went into the boards, all 3 of them, and they're throwing uppercuts. Start beating the crap out of these guys. It's the only way you're going to win.
That's how Tampa Bay does it.
5-2. How did the Avs get 5? Oh, empty netter? 5-2 Avs Blues. That's it.
Done.
So to quote Herb Brooks, you don't beat the Russians by playing defense. You beat them by playing offense. We've got to take the game to them. We've got to play a more aggressive game. It's the only way you're going to free this up. We need to draw some penalties and get our power play back together. Brendan Moore had said he wants to play 5-on-5 hockey. He knows he can beat us. Well, let's get on the power play. Let's draw some penalties. How do you do that? By hitting and getting retaliations, by outskating them and going north to south as opposed to dump and chase. They got to stop this crap.
When you look at the stats for this game, Colorado had 1 power play, St. Louis had 2. So there was next to no penalties in this game, which is pretty amazing.
Especially with those refs. So, I mean, when we look around the league, I'm going to say the potential is there for Tampa to do a sweep. If not, it's 5 and it's over. Rangers, I'm calling. Let me say this: if they drop drop game 3, I think it's over in 4. I think they lose both. I think they will lose their heart. I think that they'll just drop out, and I think that'll be the end of it. Rangers are probably going to lose in 5, potentially 6. But if they lose game 3, they could very easily lose game 4. Depends on how badly they get beat on game 3. If they win game 3 and they start to build momentum again, and we start to see that happen, you never know. But it depends on what Ranger team comes out and if they keep playing the same crappy hockey.
You know what's pretty amazing is we went, what did we have? 6 game 7s from the first series? I think they all game 7s except for 2.
5 game 7s or 6?
5 game 7s.
6 game 7s, something like that.
And that was with 8 matchups. Here we have 4 matchups, and 2 of them potentially right now could be sweeps. Which talk about a turnaround from the first round play.
It's amazing to me. And then you look at Avs Blues. It's not an incredibly exciting game. The best series by far right now is Flames Oilers.
Yeah.
And we've been kind of saying that all along. Like it was, Stars Flames was incredible. Oilers LA was not a good series, but the Oilers looked good. But it was not a good series. So it's a matter of the matchups make the series. And when you look at any one of the remaining 8 teams, there are good teams. They're good teams. One's a President Cup trophy winner, and they're about to get swept. One's a 2-time Stanley Cup champion. I mean, there are just some really good teams left out there. It should be pretty amazing.
So as they do move on, I would definitely be excited for Calgary, Colorado. I think that has potential of being a decent series.
Could be.
When you look at if it ends up being Carolina versus Tampa Bay, I have zero interest in watching that for personal reasons. But I think if that's the way it's going to be, I could see Tampa Bay pulling through. And wouldn't that be something else if Tampa Bay, even just getting to the finals, forget about winning it, just getting there for the 3rd time in a row would be pretty amazing.
Well, I'll say this to you. Here's the interesting thought, though. The Rangers and Tampa, I'm not saying we're the same team. We're not. We do play a similar style. Okay, it's not exactly the same, but it is similar. Not like night and day. I mean, not like day to day. They're pretty close. If the Rangers are this piss poor against Carolina, could you imagine how much it would bring down the play for Tampa? So you kind of wonder about it because, Tampa's this highly technical team and, they're playing blah, 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 blah. Somebody's got to shake them up. Boston kind of had a couple of things that they did, and it kind of worked because they went farther out, and I'll agree with that, but I don't know. I'm going to tell you right now that if it goes Tampa, Carolina, it's going to be a blah series. I don't think it's going to be great. If it's Tampa Rangers, man, that's going to be fun.
That has a lot of potential.
It's got people are going to watch that. Carolina Tampa game is going to be but Tampa Ranger game tomorrow, series, best of 7, you could easily see that going 7 games. And you can see some overtimes, and you can see a lot of fun and some physicality, and it would be a really good thing. If you're watching Avs Blues, I'm going to say could be Blues Flames, could be Avs Oilers. I don't know. Like, this is one of those where I still think that the Flames are going to pull it off, and I still think the Avalanche are going to pull it off. So if we're looking Avs versus Flames, I think the Flames are going to steamroll them. I think it's 5. And then if you're talking Flames winner of Rangers Tampa, I don't think it's the Rangers. I think it's Tampa. And I mean, could you see Tampa three-peating? You and I said this 2 weeks ago that it could just simply be they want a three-peat. They want that, and they may be driving towards it.
That would be a very interesting series because they play a very similar style of game in terms of the physicality and the aggressiveness.
Yeah.
That would be an interesting series. Did you see what happened with our good old friend Keith Tkachuk?
Oh, yeah.
At the first game? So Matt Tkachuk scores his first hat trick, playoff hat trick, right? Good for him. He deserved it. Gets a hat trick. So Keith is sitting there, takes his hat off, and he's holding it to his chest. And everyone around him is saying, throw it. And you read his lips. He's saying, no, it's my favorite hat. It's my favorite hat. He wouldn't throw his favorite hat for his own kid getting a playoff hat trick.
No.
I love that.
No. He knows where they go. They go in a dumpster.
Yeah.
The first time I was at a hat trick game and I threw my hat, my father looked at me, he goes, 2 things just so you know. And I said, what's that? He goes, number 1, you're never going to see that hat again. Number 2, they throw them out. And I went, you mean the player doesn't get them? He's like, no, they throw them out. They're dirty headgear. And I was like, yeah.
Well, then, did you hear the story of what happened on the ice with Matthew Tkachuk and Evander Kane?
With the argument?
So we all know Evander Kane was down on his luck, if you will, spent illegal gambling or whatever it was, spent all his money, and was clawing his way back, rebuilding his career. So they got in their little skirmish, whatever happened, exchange of words, and you could read Matt Tkachuk's lips as he turns to Evander Kane and goes, wait, you want money? You want money? I'll give you money. So funny.
My favorite thing about last night was realizing that the glass in between the benches where the reporter is in the middle, that on the Flame side, it went almost all the way out to the ice. There was about a 6-8 inch gap. On the other side, the board's about 2 feet. So Tkachuk is hanging his head over the side, just talking all kinds of crap to the whole bench. It wasn't like just the one player, like where they're hanging over and they're talking to each other. He had the whole bench and they're all looking at him and he's just barking away and And I was like, that is awesome. I mean, it really is. It was kind of awesome. So, it's fun to see, what those things are, but I think this is going to be a lot of fun. So let's make our calls. Let's do it. So we're going to run down and say, Panthers, Tampa Bay. What are you calling the series and in how many games?
I hate it's going to be – I can't even get the words out. It's going to be 6. I'm going to go with 6. But I can't give you the team.
So Tampa and 6 is what you're saying. I'm going to go Tampa and 5, but I really think there's the possibility of a sweep. I have to put that out there as there is at least a possibility. Let's go down to my debacle. Rangers, Carolina. Who do you got and how many?
So I've given Carolina 0 credit from the get-go. So I'm going to turn the tides and finally give them some credit. I'm also going to say, and I think New York's going to come back a bit, but I'm going to say I'm going to go Carolina in 6.
Exactly what I just said before. I'm going to say it again. Rangers have the potential of getting swept if they win the next game. I'm going to say Carolina in 6, possibly 7. the Rangers are in a must-win scenario, but it's not so much the predicament that we're in. It's the team that keeps showing up. If Gallant continues to coach them and say, dump and chase, crap-ass trap hockey, Rangers lose in 5 or less. If the Rangers go back to north-south hockey, they go to dynamic plays, amazing passing, and a great power play, Rangers have the potential to win it. But I'm going to say that the Rangers don't do that in the first game. They wound up getting whacked. I'm going to say Carolina in 6. So I agree with you on that. Avs Blues, where are you at?
So looking at the first couple games and looking at the stats for tonight, it's pretty even. And so part of me wants to just jump out and say, oh, this is going to go 7. I think Colorado's going to take it, but I don't think it's going to make it to 7. I think Colorado is just too strong when they finally wake up and say, you mean we need to play hockey now? So I think, again, this is going to be another 6-gamer, and it's going to go Colorado.
So here's the wild card. Who's in net for St. Louis? Because if Beef Wellington is out, is he out short term? Did he get concussed on the hit? Is he out? Is he back next game? I think all of those things are relevant. Do they lose anybody through any of the hits? There's been some shakeup. I'm going to call Arizona in 0. I'm going to call the Avalanche in 7, only because there are some unknowns at the moment, not knowing what their goalie situation will look like, as of tomorrow. That kind of puts them in a losing category for me. But I think they're going to hang on. The Blues have been super resilient all playoffs. They've been unsung all year, and I'm not going to count them out yet, but I am going to call it Game 7 for Avs. So that brings us down to our favorite series, Flames, Oilers.
Yeah, so I think it's going to go Calgary. I'm hoping this goes 7 games because it is amazing hockey. Just if they could start the games a little bit earlier, that would be very appreciative. But I think Calgary is going to take this. And again, realistically, probably not going to go all 7. I think I'll go 6 across the board. 6 games across the board.
I got Calgary in 6 as well. Jonathan is an Oilers fan. So Calgary wins the next game. Then Oilers win the series, but score every game will be tight. Edmonton in 7, says Matt. So people are saying Oilers coming out in the 7th. There's a good chance for it. It just depends upon. I still think that the Flames are a good team. I think the Oilers are a good team, but I think the Flames have an edge right now.
Yep.
So
this series is going to be all goaltending. What it comes down to, you look in the first game, Calgary jumped out to a mammoth lead, and Edmonton clawed their way almost all the way back to the point they did have it tied up. And then Calgary went and said no, and they scored a couple more. The game last night, again, Calgary jumped out to an early lead. Edmonton came back and put it into overdrive, right, and then took it home. So I think it's all going to come down to the goaltending. Both teams, they can score goals and score lots of goals. So it's how their goaltenders cut those angles, block those shots.
So here's the question. Is there a supremely dominant team that you're going, they got it, they're going the distance, they're going to hoist it?
No, I don't think so right now. In the first round, there were a couple teams. Colorado, you're like, yep, they're going all the way. You watched Florida, you were kind of like, Florida, they look strong, they could take it. All of a sudden now, any one of these teams have a chance. Well, Florida and New York, not so much. But all the other teams look like they could have a fighting chance.
I would say this to you. The 3 teams that I eliminate as contenders, I would eliminate the Panthers, the Rangers, and Carolina. I think that the team to beat in the East right now is Tampa Bay. I still think the team to beat is the Flames out west. I'm calling Flames Tampa in the final. And I'm going to just say, if there is a conspiracy in the NHL, Tampa's hoisting third cup, 3-peat.
Yep.
It just looks like the story. If I was watching wrestling It just feels that way.
You would think I would have learned my lesson when the Raptors of Toronto in the NBA, when they won their championship. I think all three, at least the first two rounds, maybe the first three rounds, they lost the first two games. They went down 2-0, then won the next two and made it, a best of three. And so I know it's rare. It doesn't happen a lot where a team goes down 2 and they come back to win the series. But it's still possible. Tomorrow's going to be a huge day in hockey. And we will know come about midnight what the fate is going to be for a couple of these teams.
Agreed. And as Bernie just said, Vasilevsky is the X factor. He's one of the best goaltenders in the league. Very quiet right now is Shesterkin because, let's be honest, it was a 1-0 game last night. However, I think there were 8 shots apiece on net. It was such a low shooting game. It was hard to watch. So I don't know. We're going to see how it goes, but you're 100% right. Tomorrow is a make it or break it day in the NHL. There are 3 games on, everybody, tomorrow. The only game not on are Avs Blues. That was just on, and Avs took it 5-2. I'm assuming 4-2, and then they pulled the goalie for an empty netter. Would make sense how they scored that last-minute goal. So tomorrow, I believe the Rangers kick it off at 3:30, which I will be doing that game. Carolina Rangers. I would assume the next game is going to be Panthers Tampa, followed by the West Coast game late night for Oilers and Flames. So it's going to be an interesting night tomorrow night.
Yeah. So the Florida game is actually at 1:30 tomorrow.
Oh, it's before my game.
Yeah. So we're doing a double header over on our channel. We're doing the Panther game.
Thank you for the correction.
No problem. Then we're going to have a quick break for a snack and jump into.
Everybody loves snacks.
Yeah. But it'll be a really long snack, but we're going from the Panther game. We're going to the Calgary game. We're going to do it both. It's going to be a blast. And again, Dave, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, throw me a link. I'll be happy to jump in. I won't stay with you the whole time just so that I don't drive you nuts. But I'll probably start the game off with you. I may come back in the third or something just to kind of to screw around. But other than that, so tomorrow, 1:30, Sam's going to be doing the first game. 3:30, I'm doing the game. What time's the other game? 8:30?
8. I think it's 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. So 8 o'clock. Sam's going to double check that real quick because he's doing that game as well. So you got 3 games on. We're calling all of them between us. So go to our channels. Make sure that you know where we're going to be, when we're going to be, where. Beware. And we're going to call the games. We're going to have a lot of fun with it, everybody. Tomorrow's hockey day. It's going to tell us a lot. And then all week.
What's even more exciting than all of these games and all the hockey and everything going on? We, over on our channel, we are 12 subscribers away from 1,800.
Come on, you'll do that tomorrow. 12?
Yeah, 12.
Well, we hit a milestone while we were live tonight. So the Florida Park Explorers Network, the actual network, we hit 3,600 tonight. So
nice.
We're super stoked about the fact we just hit 3,600. Florida Park Explorers, the original channel, we're holding right around 2,500. So we're getting there on the other 2 channels. This one's growing. I think we're only like 30 away from 600 here. So we're getting there, and everybody's getting great accomplishments. Keep supporting us. We're trying to grow in the sports community and Disney community, both of us. So just make sure you're out there supporting the channels. Tonight, I don't know if you guys were over at our partner channel. Pete McDevitt did the inductees for the Villains Hall of Fame for content creators. Make sure you go back over and watch that, please. There were some great people who were brought in tonight. My fellow family members, Chris and Susan over at Ear to Ear, they were inducted in tonight. I'm super proud of them. They work hard every single day. Super duper proud of them. The Disney Baker, amazing person, amazing friend. These are people I consider to be like family. They're amazing people. Please go over to Pete's. Go watch it. Skim through it if you have to, if there's some of the things you just don't care about. But please go over, support Pete. Watch what he's doing. Partner channel, our newest partner channel over there somewhere. I don't know which. I don't have fingers. So just make sure that you're hanging out with us. You're doing all those fun things. We try to provide the best content we can for you. So best thing you can do, share us out. Let people know that we're going to be on live. He's going to start He's going to start at 1:30 tomorrow. I'm going to be on at 3:30. He's going to be back at 8. We're going to have a lot of fun tomorrow, everybody. Sam, you're going to be calling games the rest of the week regardless.
Yeah, we're going to be doing games. We're going to follow this Tampa series as long as it goes. We're not doing game 4 of Calgary because it's going to be 9:30. So just a little too late by the time it ends.
What day is that on?
So, that is Tuesday. So game 5 will be Thursday. Don't know what time that's going to be. And then next weekend, we probably won't be calling any games over Saturday or Sunday next weekend. But we'll see what's going to come up Monday, Tuesday.
Let's just put it this way. I try not to ever call against Sam, but if Sam doesn't call a game, I probably will. So if there's something going on and Sam lets me know that he's not doing something, I probably will jump in. So if you guys are paying attention to Sam's schedule and he's not on, all 30 of you can come and watch me instead. I don't pull Sam's numbers. So with that, go to his channel. Go check out his stuff. You can always follow us on IG and check out what we're doing. We always post in stories. Got to go to our stories, and you'll find out what's going on that day. Every single day, it'll tell you what network is running what show. So with that, I got it right. I got to point at the wall, and there's Sam. For the natural, Samuel B12 experience. I am Dave the BearShark, and this has been Even Strength. Thanks for joining us. We will see you next Saturday. Right here, same bat channel, same bat time. Take care, everybody. Have a great hockey week.